Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're back here talking about the 9-4 Cincinnati Bengals. They have rattled off 5 straight victories, and we have their updated rankings here. So total offense, they are number 5, passing offense number 4, rushing offense 24th, which comes to a complete shock in my opinion. We'll talk about that a little later on in the video. Scoring offense, they are 7th. Total defense, also another huge shock. They come in at 14th. Pass defense 20th, rush defense 11th, scoring defense 11th. Pretty much all those defensive stats are very surprising to me. And then turnover, they are 9th. So welcome back to the channel, though. Obviously, we talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals fans, you guys are quite honestly changing my life the more the days go by. So I appreciate you guys so much, and I will definitely continue to cover this team for the rest of the season. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and hitting that subscribe button if you are new here, liking the video really gets the algorithm going. I mentioned in my video yesterday, and I'll say it again, if this video gets 3,000 likes, I will 100% buy a Cincinnati Bengal jersey the second it happens. However, a lot of you guys brought up some good points just saying get one anyways. It's hard to disagree with that. I have a Carson Palmer OG throwback Bengals jersey, but it's a little too small on me now. So the Bengals are, obviously they're getting better and better. I saw a really fascinating statistic here. We have it right here. Per 538, the chances to win the AFC North, the Ravens have a 60% chance and the Bengals have a 40% chance. New York Times, I know. But anyways, they put the Bengals AFC North chances at 34%. It's just baffling to me. So I did a little bit of digging, and this video is not to bash on the Baltimore Ravens. I know they have an abysmal offense and a really good defense, but I look at their whole schedule, I'm like, all right, they played recently Pittsburgh, Denver, Jacksonville, Carolina, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Giants. Oh, their last game where they played a difficult opponent was probably all the way back on October 9th against Cincinnati. So they have 4 games left, just like the Bengals: Cleveland, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. That last game of the season, to me, I don't see any reason how the Bengals are going to lose to the Ravens. I just don't think the Ravens are that good of a football team. I know they have a really good defense, but so do the Bengals. We'll talk about that when it comes. I just thought it brought a smile to my face. I thought it was a little interesting because that's definitely been the reoccurring theme making these Bengals videos is there's just nobody talking about them, man. I will throw on SportsCenter, I will throw on NFL Countdown, whatever the case is. I'll listen to these radio shows, whatever it is, even trying to find articles that aren't Cincinnati Bengal based. Like, unless it's like an article or a brand or a magazine that is from Cincinnati, there's very little about the Cincinnati Bengals. And a lot of Bengals fans like it, and I can't disagree with them. It is nice flying below the radar. This team is extremely disrespected. Total offense, they're 5th. And that rushing offense, we'll talk about the defense because the defense is phenomenal. The statistics do not do it justice. Just in general, I kind of take analytics and statistics with a grain of salt. I think my eyes are the best indicator of, whatever I see, and I think a lot of you guys would agree with me. But speaking of the offense, the rushing offense is ranked 24th, right? So Joe Mixon came back this past week, and Samaje Perine had, in his absence, when Mixon was down with a concussion, he was an absolute stud. Now, Perine did have a couple of drops, specifically in the first quarter. If I'm not mistaken, there were 2 drops, but they were kind of just third and longs, throwaway plays, like nothing was really going on anyways. But all we talked about this week, as far as the running game goes, is that I was shocked. I think they were like 26th they were 26th in total rushing attack headed into this week, which is shocking to me. But we all had a feeling because the Bengals actually came out and said we're going to run more 2-man running back sets. We had a feeling we were going to see more Mixon and Perine at the same time. And just Perine in general, because like I said, in the last couple of weeks without Joe Mixon, he was actually statistically one of the best. And eye test, he was definitely one of the best running backs actually in the NFL. So I know he's been solid in his tenure with Cincinnati, but this year and in those last couple of weeks, he reached a completely different level. So that was something we were keeping an eye on. Mixon, snap count wise, this is snap count. Mixon 58, Perine 43%. The average pre-injury was Mixon 71.38. So that dropped from 71 down 58, about a 10 to 15% uptick for Samaje. This is from Paul Denner Jr. on Twitter. Number 2, Bengals found a chunk for Pirine in early series when healthy. Mixon had taken 90% first down, first half snaps, and on Sunday it was just 57. This is money to me because we're at a point in the season, and actually just every season in general, but especially now where there's 4 games remaining, health is all I care about. Health is all I care about. Yeah, New York Times, you can put the chances the Bengals win at, less than a coin flip. You can do whatever you want. If this team is healthy, specifically their offense, they're going to be really hard to stop, man. They're going to be extremely hard to stop if they are healthy. I know they were missing their tight end. I know Boyd went down. I know Higgins went down. We have updates. This actually happened just this morning. Boyd has, dislocated finger. He's going to be out maybe a week or 2. None of the injuries to me concern long-term at all. So, yeah, Baltimore, you know what? You can have the division. It's not going to happen because they'd have to go 4-0. You can have the division. I still, for some weird reason, I still kind of think, and a lot of you guys would agree with me, I still kind of think that the Bengals are going to get the number 1 seed in the AFC, especially what I saw from the Chiefs this past week. I'm not sold on them. I'm definitely not sold on Miami in any way, shape, or form. I'm not sold on Buffalo. Just not sold on any of these teams in the NFL, but especially the Baltimore Ravens. No disrespect, once again, because I got a bunch of family in Baltimore. They've got a great defense. The running attack is critical because for some reason they're ranked 24th. First things first. But Pirine and Mixon, it's a 1-2 punch. It really is just a 1-2 punch, and we saw it. They started using it. Yesterday in general was a bad game for the Bengals offensively speaking, but we saw Mixon burst for 41 yards later on in the game in the second half. You're going to start seeing that more and more, but running the ball, having a balanced running attack is awesome. It opens up your playbook. It opens up your play action. It just completely opens up your playbook. It allows you to be more creative, allows you to be more versatile. It allows you to get creative with your personnel. There are a lot of things you can do if you have an actual 1-2 duo in the running back position, which very little teams have. Very, very little teams have. So if you heard my take from a couple of days ago, I still honestly kind of stand by this. I think by the end of the season, headed into the playoffs, the Bengals 1-2 punch will be one of, if not the best, left remaining in the playoffs as far as running backs go. Joe Burrow, I agreed with so much of the stuff you guys said. Joe Burrow probably had his worst throwing game of his career, which is crazy to say, and they still won by 13. They still won by 13. So he still made the throws he needed to make, but let's talk about the defense. I know the defense missed a couple of cats going into the game, and I know a couple of cats went down during the game. Total defense 14th is shocking to me. I think that is mainly from the start of the season. I know the Browns are, what are they now? They're now 5-8. I know they're not the most impressive team, but you still have Nick Chubb. They held Nick Chubb to just 2 yards in the second half. They held him to 2.2 per attempt, just like Derrick Henry a couple of weeks ago. Deshaun Watson, I view a lot of it as more, not necessarily garbage time stats, but it was more towards the end of the game where the Bengals were not trying to give up a touchdown. I really think this defense is phenomenal, and pass defense 20th kind of surprises me. Total defense 14th kind of surprises me. The rush defense at 11th, I view them definitely as top 10. Scoring D, top 10. That defensive line itself is elite. I know we kind of throw that word out a lot with this Bengals team, but their defensive line is elite. DJ Reader is elite. They have studs all across their defensive line. Their linebacker unit is very good. Their defensive back unit, to me, has done more than enough. So the 20th ranking, that kind of surprised me. But I wanted to make this video to you guys, just throw out some statistics and kind of talk about them after that victory yesterday. That's it for me today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys enjoy it. But most importantly, guys, because I love reading your comments. You guys are so nice. You're so appreciative. You guys clearly know your football. You clearly love your Bengals. I want to hear your thoughts down below on this video and what you saw yesterday. Peace.